if I automate things, it's going to make me less than human.
When you go to other countries, you see how people do business.
How are you using AI?
I'm a person that wants to have data.
What is the one big thing that you want to do to achieve your destiny?
I think this whole year has been about personal development.
Welcome to another episode of the Kismet Show. It is a real honor for me. Today, my guest is Paola Morante. She is a very well-known real estate agent in the Louisville, Kentucky area in southern Indiana. She's originally from Peru, and so she does a lot of her work bilingual, which I'm super excited to talk about. Today's episode is extra special for me because several months ago, my team at Kismet, my team and I built an automation system for her inside of the platform HighLevel. And we're going to talk about today how Paola is using both AI and automation and systems in her business, as well as keeping the human aspect of being a realtor alive. If you're listening to this and you are a service provider, a business owner, maybe you're a realtor, but maybe you're not, you're going to get something out of this conversation because you're going to be learning about what technology is doing today in the world of business and how you can help businesses implement or how you can implement it for your own business. Paola, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited and let's get into it.
Yeah, totally. So without assuming I don't know anything, even though we did build it and you have run with it and made it your own, you are using now automation and AI to run your business. Yes. We set you up with an initial system and now you got your team in there and you are building it out. Talk to me right now about the landscape for your specific business and how AI and automation are helping you in real estate.
Yeah. So I guess I can give you a little bit of background.
Yeah.
In real estate, normally a lot of the big companies, RE/MAX, Keller Williams, and other names, use a system, right? It's already built. It's kind of like copy and paste. And I don't want to talk shit about anyone, but sometimes that just doesn't work for a specific niche or for a specific market.
Yeah, it puts you in a box.
And that was exactly what was happening. So for my specific demographics and type of clients, like that model of just emailing and not really personalizing any of that was not working out. So what I decided to do was to create something with you that was a little bit more like personal touch, checking up on them. But honestly, I have been doing that and it was just taking too much out of my day.
Doing it manually.
Yes. And so the automations just literally take that to the next level. We're only human, so we can only remember certain things. And, I found myself like, hey, I closed with a client like 2 weeks ago. I wondered if they moved already. And if I'm not on it in that moment with my phone and texting or calling them, then sometimes that just slips your mind.
Yeah.
And that has helped tremendously, just having a system that I'm not relying only on my memory, because we can't do that.
Yeah, that's tough to ask.
This has like helped not only me, but even like my assistant, and how, hey, there are many control points. And like, if I forget, then there's Kimberly. If I forget, there's the automation that keeps going.
Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to automation.
Yes.
A lot of people will hear system and they'll think a couple of things. They'll think that I don't even know what you're talking about, or I'm not tech savvy. I couldn't do that. And what are your sort of, how would you break it down of explain it to me like I'm a kid type of way to say what you are automating in your system, and and then you can kind of get into like, do you actually have to be tech savvy in order to embrace this?
I don't think so, because like I'm not a super techie person anyway. I mean, I can function my phone and my text messages, but that's about it. So I don't think you have to be super savvy. The way I look at it is I have another member in my team who is kind of like the catch-it-all, the great memory person that, looking into all the details and filling the gap where, I forgot to send, hey, we're closing today. Where we need to show up,
Yeah.
What time, do you have to bring a check, different things like that. Like there's always like checks and balances. So we're crossing the T's, dotting the I's and all that stuff. But it's like it's a help. It's just a way to buy myself some time to do things that will continue to help me grow my business without having to spend so much time as a person into those little, day-to-day things.
Yeah. Yeah. And can you talk about, I think a lot of people when they hear, well, let's automate. I love how you think of your automation as a employee of yours. And then, the more that we all dive into AI in our lives, that also becomes additional employees. Those are our AI agents, our AI staff members, if you will. And can you talk about, I think one of the fears for people is, well, if I automate things, it's going to make me less than human. And you're in an industry that is very much relationship driven. So,
Yes.
what are some of the ways that, you and I sort of talked about how we were going to embrace that, and then ways that you look at it when it comes to automation and AI, but still keeping the you involved in your business.
Yeah. As I said, it's like another person per se as part of my business, but that doesn't take away from like my role as an agent. Like the person that's going to be on the phone at 11 p.m., like walking through this process and like saying, hey, it's okay, calm down, it's fine, we can pack tomorrow. Like that's not gonna go away. And unfortunately, there's a lot of agents out there that are like super scared of like, well, what's gonna happen? They can run reports for you, they can do this, they can like, and I mean, yeah, anyone can run a report, honestly.
Yeah.
Those are the easy parts, right? But as you said, like the human in the business is not going to go away. One of the things that I really enjoyed was going through some of the messages that we're sending to clients and like making sure that that still sounds like me, that is still relevant, that it's still kind of like, hey, I thought of you. I was driving by your neighborhood and I just wanted to see how you were doing. That's one of the automations.
Yep.
Like, and that happens, I cannot even tell you how many times happens to me on a daily basis. Like I drive around, I'm licensed, as you said, in Kentucky and Indiana. So I'm always like running around and I'm like, I drive by your house. I'm like, ooh, what? I wonder what Paige is doing.
Right.
It's like, it's one of those things, but I'm always driving. So I can't really be texting or calling. So it really helps that we have the snippets and then you can just like, hey, go in and send that message and it just goes away. Like, and you don't have to type it. It's already typed for you. It's already like, hey, it just took me a long time to get all these instructions done and like having to recreate that for every single person. That didn't make any sense. It's not the best use of my time.
Yeah. So by instructions, you mean sort of because not everyone buys a house every single day.
True.
So it might be something that the majority, a non-investor homeowner family or a person might do it once every 5, 7, 10 years.
Yeah.
And so you're educating them, you're giving the instructions on everything that goes into buying and selling in the journey.
Yes.
And now all of that is automated.
Yes. So, I mean, you're right. You're totally right. Not everyone does that every 2 years, not even 2 years. Like most people, apparently, stats says 4 to 7. So by the time you're trying to sell, you already forgot everything that you did before.
You forgot the process.
Yeah. And the process, it's not like it changes, but there are some things like, maybe when someone bought a house like 10 years ago, you had to go in with a paper check. And go to the office and drop it off. Now we have like, you can do that online. Here's the link.
Right.
And it's safe. And so like having to instruct people on like, hey, you don't have to come to my office. You can just do this electronically, click here. Like those instructions are the same. It doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Like it's just boom, boom, boom. These are the steps. And so that was super helpful to have automate. It's like, okay, we got under contract. Congratulations. This is what you need to do next.
Yeah.
And it's out.
And then it's gone. And it already sends because the system is working on your behalf. And a little bit of a behind the scenes here, because, we did help you implement this, was one of the ways to keep it so human was video.
Yes.
And video is like having an additional conversation with your clients, except for now when you do still take those phone calls at 11 o'clock at night, you're not giving them the instructions that you just told to all your other clients and you've repeated 100 times.
Yes.
You're talking about something else or something bigger or something that's, sort of outside the norm of the regular sort of A to Z. Here's how we get it done.
Yeah, for sure.
And props to you and kudos to my team as well. But there was the system allowed for about 16 different videos. You recorded double the amount of videos, half in English, half in Spanish. And we then duplicated over, I think, 120 odd messages in English and in Spanish. And now you're running a completely bilingual business. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. And it just had to be done for, my clients. Like I was doing some planning and running numbers, and like this year it was like 90% of my business was in Spanish. So and I had so many people message me, that was kind of funny because one of my clients messaged me and she was like, so in the video that we recorded, it's summer, middle of summer. So I'm wearing like a tank top and like, she's like, where are you? Are you in town? It's freezing. And like, I have a tank top or something. And it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, I tried to explain it. And I don't think she got it. It's fine.
So she thought, it's the wrong season for a tank top, but something about this feels like you just recorded it for me today.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I just, it caught me by surprise that she thought it was like right in that moment. Yeah. And she's like, where are you? Do you go out on vacations? Like what part of the world are you in?
I love that.
Oh, that's cute.
I love that. We're going to talk about travel, but let me just say this to those of you that are listening, thinking about how this can apply to your business, or you think about how do I build this for businesses. Pro tip, when you put videos into a system, you generate way more trust along the way. Oh, yeah. You keep up way more conversations, and you did such an excellent job. But when you record those videos, always make sure that they feel like you're talking to one person, like you just recorded them, and they're still going to be fresh years later. So kudos to you for taking that on. And I didn't even think about the wardrobe. I have not mentioned that as advice for anybody.
That. Yeah.
It makes for perfect conversation though.
Yes.
But that's amazing. So, and I definitely need to learn my Spanish here because we do have a lot of Spanish speaking people in our city. More so than ever before, and it's definitely a language to learn. But let's talk about travel. You do travel.
Yes.
You spent. I mean, you're from Brazil. From Peru. Excuse me. You're from Peru, and you've spent a lot of time in South America. Where else in the world have you gone? Like,
recently, like in November, we were in Colombia and then Peru. I mean, when you're in South America, it's so close, and it's such an excuse for me to be like, oh, we're so close to my family. Let's go see them and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we were just in Medellin, beautiful city. We just got to explore lots of, it was kind of Christmassy season. Cool. So lots of tourists. It was beautiful.
Yeah. What are your big takeaways from travel? I mean, I feel like travel for me is always, it shapes my perspective so much on different ways of living, different cultures, different food. I love good food. And also, I'll say a big theme for me of travel has always been reinforcing my belief and optimism about people, how good people are at their core. Because it's easy to sit in a bubble in your home and think, oh, the world's a scary place. But then traveling changes that. But what are some of the big sort of travel philosophies that you've walked away with over the years?
So again, like food it's huge, right? So I love exploring different cuisines. But one of the things you mentioned too is like when you go to other countries, you see how people do business outside of the norm of like, oh, well, this is standard business practices in the US. But then outside, they do it so differently. And
what are some examples?
So some of the, even like automations and like, especially when you go and see like how hotels do it or how they have a system of like, this is kind of like the process of maintenance and like restaurants, and how sometimes in some places, they still take their order, they go in, they put it in the kitchen. And like, sometimes I think like, oh, if this person knew that there is something better.
Yeah.
But even those like very hectic things to do, or like, you know, those steps that you're like, oh, dreading to do. I love seeing how sometimes in different cultures, they're so happy to do it. Like there is this joy for what they do,
Yeah.
or like the passion that's behind it. Like, especially in South America, since that has been like where I traveled the most, people are always happy. And I really love seeing that. How it's not like, oh, I have to go to work and like you're angry on a Monday because like, oh, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately I see a lot here.
Yeah.
And it's very different outside. Like, you know, people are singing. They're like, I was in Medellin. Our hotel was like right next to a restaurant. And like in the morning, this lady would just, I guess, clean the streets right in front of the restaurant. And like she's just singing. She has like blasting music. So she's having a good time with the broom and like
sweeping streets.
Just like enjoying life, right?
Yeah.
And those are like the little moments that I enjoy seeing when I'm out of like my norm, like my routine,
Yeah.
my go, because it just reminds me like business is great, love what I do, but then there's also like the joy in the little things
Yes.
that sometimes we forget.
Yes. I mean, obviously I'm born and raised in America, but I've traveled the world. And I think some of our work, our hustle culture is just really off. Like I even see it in my mother. I love her to death, but she works herself to the bone and she's near retirement age. And we don't find as much joy. The reason why I said Brazil, I know you're from Peru, is that Brazil is the only place I've traveled to in South America.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I used to describe it like that. People would say, how was Brazil? And I said, it's one of the most amazing places on earth where you don't have to have a drink or two in order to dance. I said, they dance all the time, just free flowing. They dance in the streets. They dance in a bar. They dance in a restaurant. They dance on the beach. They dance wherever. And but it's that sheer expression of joy that I think we get so caught up in because we've got to, amass all the things or work and build a career and I think I love this conversation because I've also been thinking about that a lot lately, which is, where am I trying to derive purpose and meaning from the accomplishments that I'm achieving versus the actual experiences and being in the moment I'm having in life?
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah, that's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really, really powerful. And then of course, all right, let's bring us back to because we know Kentucky, we know the States, we know Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Bring us back to the here and now, or really anywhere in the world, because I do have a global audience. What are some of the things that with this technology that you have now, where I feel like also today, I just saw that you are one of the top AI users on the HighLevel platform that's connected with my agency of record. So I got that snapshot, I sent it to you. And so you're already using AI in the system. And then to some degree, you're on this platform that you can infinitely scale. There's so much more you could do, right? Mm-hmm. What have been maybe top of your mind, some things that have occurred to you when you started embracing this much technology in your business that were light bulb moments, or you didn't even really think that this was possible, and then now this is the effect it's having on your business?
Well, one of the things that really helped was also having like tasks or like a list of things, not only for myself, but for my assistant.
Yeah.
And to think that, hey, if I continue to grow my business the way I want to, I can incorporate other people, and this is something that is transferable, that it's like essentially just plug and play. And it's, just creating that took time, but then forever and always would be able to use it. It was kind of like investing. It's what I can think of. Like it's a muscle, right? And it takes time to get to a point, but once that's done, then it just opens up so much more opportunities for growth.
Yes. Oh, I love this. I think sometimes I kind of live in task managers. You saw we had a whole
Yes.
client portal when you got started, which was probably a mix of relief and overwhelm. But I live that way. And sometimes I forget how important that is for other people, and making sure that you have tasks that get set up and your tasks are being automated each time a contact is going through certain phases of their buying or selling journey. And now you have a place, like you said, where you can bring in new team members. That's powerful. I see it all the time where people go, oh my God, I feel organized. It's not just on a piece of paper and it's organized.
And that's a huge part, because it empowers business owners, small, medium, large, whatever the number is. It empowers you to actually feel like this isn't just a one thing I do, or like this is how I make money. Like, this is my business.
Yeah.
And you feel like, okay, here are my numbers. Here's my dashboard. Look at this, like, how my pipeline is going. It just feels like, oh, okay, this isn't just a little thing. This is a very established, like, checks and balances business that will continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thrilled for it. And of course, I spend a lot of time telling the world that these types of systems should be built in the HighLevel platform. And the reason for it is because just 5 or 6 years ago, you didn't have options like this. Sure, you have your real estate brokers that'll say, here's the latest CRM, this is the latest cool tool, but then you were still left duct taping a bunch of tools together. So like you said, you can log into one place and it's a central source of truth for your business and all of your contacts and all of your automation and all your marketing efforts, right? And there's even more you can do with it, because we didn't even get to you can do direct mail, you can plug it all into one login. I know you're doing the social scheduling. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I see your content online. It's amazing. I think you probably, in the real estate space or in the other entrepreneurial space, you probably come across people who get it and they're also taking action and recording content. And then people who are looking at you at awe of thinking, how do you record all of that content? How do you put it out there? What drives you? Because I think a lot of people have a desire and they see the value in building a personal brand, but not everybody will actually hit record and then publish it.
Yeah. And it's not easy.
Right.
Prior to me being in real estate as an agent, I didn't have like a lot of social media. Like, I don't think I had, just a few posts of my dog maybe, and that was it.
He's a cutie.
So it was something that I had to like work on and be very diligent and structured with. So that's something that I'm still working on. But the reason why I do it is because sometimes, like, they could be a client that tells me a story. Like a couple weeks ago, someone, wanted to sell their home. So I had the interview with them, and they told me how they bought their house, how they got there.
Yeah.
And they told me the story, and I was like, how was this other person, how did that person not tell you this, and that? And like, sometimes, unfortunately, there are experiences, not so good ones, that put clients into a tough spot for later on when they're gonna sell. And so, like, there's a lack of information, not only in English but in Spanish. Like, there's a lack of resources. There's a lack, just like where they find information. Could be on YouTube, could be on TikTok. And sometimes, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but sometimes it could be misleading, because every situation is unique.
Yes.
And so sometimes that gives me like the motivation, and that gives me the inspiration of like, oh, this happened to this person. I need to go and say it out loud. Like, hey, if this, and that is happening, these are the things you need to do. Or like, so it kind of gives me those ideas of like, oh, I thought this was common knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's not. So I need to say it out there, because I don't see a lot of people actually providing information, providing something of value. I see a lot of people just like hey, I'm selling houses. Like, oh, hey, this is
Right.
my name. And so I try to provide something more than just, here's a pretty house. Come check it out.
Right. Right. What's so powerful in all of that is that you make it less about you and you make it about other people.
Yeah, I think
That's huge.
if you're in an industry just because it's lucrative
Right.
and you're just thinking about how you can get ahead, that's going to be a tough one. I think it's, at least in my case, it's people forward, like service.
That's so true. I think that's why people get so caught up on social media thinking, well, how am I going to look? What are people going to think about me? How am I going to turn this into leads? How am I going to turn this into money? And it's such an I focus. And then what you said is people are getting the wrong information. People are having the wrong experiences. I care about them. I want to share the knowledge widely and freely, and the rest will follow. And I think that's such a huge philosophy in life. I had someone recently tell me, Paige, you're giving away way too many resources if you want to actually monetize off of those. And I would just think the rest will fall in place when you do your part to show up for other people. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be much happier with yourself.
Exactly.
At the end of this life, that you cared more about others than yourself.
So much more satisfying than...
Yes. Yes, it absolutely is. Okay, so we talked about, sort of the things that have been an aha for you, and then you're building this personal brand. How are you using AI? What's going on, Destiny Makers? I just wanted to take this quick commercial break sponsored by, well, me. If you've been hearing these stories and you are inspired and want to actually start crafting your destiny and building, especially if you build for other clients and you want to dive in more with resources, I have a completely free workshop and masterclass to invite you to, as well as the Kismet Club, where you can go deeper and we can turn this fun and this magic into daily support. So come check it out, kismet.club, and I'll see you on the inside.
Well, I use it a lot through my day. Just, I'm a person that wants to have the data. And so wants to know how to interpret it and just to be on top of things that are happening, not only in Louisville, in Indiana, but also with like the market everywhere. So sometimes consuming information could be, time that you invest. And so sometimes what I do is like summarize everything, like explain things to me.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I look into how can I make processes more efficient? Yeah. How can I, communicate things to my team or even to my clients in a way where they can understand it? Because again, terminology, I see it every day, so I can like understand what I'm saying, but maybe they're not understanding what I'm telling them. So it's like,
true.
oh, hey, how can I break this down in an easier way?
That's great.
And a lot of times I had to like utilize it for translating. My team member, Kimberly, she only speaks English.
Yes.
And so it's like, well, I need you to say this to our client who only speaks Spanish.
Wow. So then going through AI to then convert it and translate it into Spanish, and then now you're communicating. What are your go-to AI tools at the moment?
So I do a lot of like Chat GPT normally for like the day-to-day, and I've been using AI tools for video. So like the captions and edits, and CapCut has been my favorite.
For the social media video.
Yeah,
I'm blown away by that.
Media.
The Captions app, you can just put in a vertical form video and it'll add all the B-roll and the text layover and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that has been, I would say, the biggest. And obviously in real estate, we do virtual staging, and sometimes if there's something in the house that you want to delete from a picture or just want to remove something or add something to it, you can definitely utilize some tools. I don't have a particular favorite one right now that I'm using for that, but Gemini
kills it with video with images.
Images has been
their Nano Banana update was very surprising. Now I look at ChatGPT images and I think amateur hour, and I go over to Gemini. And it goes, okay, loading Nano Banana. Great.
That's interesting. I've just started using that for images.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I was talking to my partner and show a photo and like even show, there's this, I can't remember if it was on Facebook or maybe it was CapCut, but essentially the video I uploaded was in English and it translated it to Spanish with voiceover. So
Wow.
it literally sounds like me. And she looked at me and she's like, we need a code word. That person is you. And I'm like,
Yes.
it's not.
Oh man, yeah. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, of course.
I know. Because so a lot of the tools where you can create an AI avatar of yourself or a voice of yourself, they have this screen where they say, agree to letting us use you as a model to create an avatar, a clone of you. Right. And so we're all signing off on that. But my thought has always been, somebody could just go download any one of our YouTube or Instagram videos and sign off on it and do the same. So I think the same thing too. I think code word. And I think anyone who really loves me and knows me, if they ever see anything really weird and they think that was really sketchy, Paige, question whether it's me or not. Please, just let's go ahead and get ahead of that.
Yeah, definitely talk to someone about, okay, ask me about this particular thing, and then it's me. But we do have a code word because, again, like that video was like, oh my God, that sounds like you. And I'm like, it's not me.
Code word is good. Yeah. So think about that, you guys, code word. And I think be extra vigilant because just be really, really smart about what links you're clicking.
Oh, yeah.
Right. What information you're providing AI, because obviously we can do really incredible things. You could take a 60-page homeowner insurance document and say, evaluate this for me, but you should probably redact some personal information from that document before you upload it to the world of GPT on a non-enterprise account. So I love that. What do you think in terms of AI adoption? There's still more that, even you can do, like the AI conversational chatbots where it's responding and having live conversations with your prospects, with your clients. It's sort of letting go of control because AI is in the driver's seat for a moment while it's having those conversations based on your training data. And then there's AI voice where someone can call your business phone and AI answers. Do you see yourself adopting these anytime soon?
Yes, especially the chats, because we have clients asking questions anytime, any day, like 24/7, and of course, like I can't be right there and answer in like a second. So I think having something there to like make the first connection with clients is going to be huge to, for later on, continue to engage with them and nurture that client because it might be a cold lead that will transform,
transact at some point. For sure.
So I think that's important. And we have like automations with emails and different things like, hey, sign up for this if you want more information, like here it is. And then, having those like bots where, 24 hours later, hey, do you read this? What do you think of this? I think that's huge.
Following up with the conversational bot. Well, let's get that deployed for you. I think for sure.
Let's do it.
And there's two ways I think that this adoption takes place, which is one way is you act as though the bot is you. And you can set working hours if it would make sense for you to respond at 1 a.m., but why not let people get their questions answered?
Yeah.
Because the option number 2 is to really just be upfront. Like this is, you give it a name, you give the AI a name, you call it an assistant, and you let it run with some of the conversational stuff until a human can take over. And so I think that there's kind of 2 frames of thought of doing that. What about business owners around you? Not just realtors, but business owners. When you tell them what you're doing with automation, with having a full-blown system and a dashboard to log into, and you're telling them the stuff that you're doing with AI, what's the general reaction right now in your world?
So that's why I think my comment about like the empowerment for small businesses or medium-sized businesses comes from, because I see that there's not enough of that. And there might be a misconception that, oh, that must cost you a lot of money. Or, hey, that might be like oh, I'm not there yet.
Right.
Or, you
Not
know,
attainable.
not attainable. I need to hit this goal in order to do that. And the way I see, and I don't know if it's just because of my investment background
Yeah.
or like, I just see like, hey, you have to put money in your business for your business to grow.
Yes, it's that chicken and egg.
Yeah.
A lot of people will tell me about that with moving forward with the opportunities that I teach. And they'll say, well, when I get to, then I'll do it. I say, it's like saying, when I get in shape, I'll go to the gym.
Exactly. So yeah, and it is a little bit of the pain, right? Like the beginning of like, as I was saying, like it takes time. You got to put systems in place. And I think a lot of businesses that I am around would be at a different level if they were just like, you know, their mind were to put some of these pieces into place.
Yeah. Take all the stuff they're already doing manually and just start with that. Just automate that portion.
Yes.
I mean, what would you tell them as a step one?
The step one, I would say just like a consultation. Like, hey, just find out how much it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's way less than you think.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, because like I feel like when we had conversations, it was getting the diagnosis. Like, hey, this is how my business operates. What do I actually need? Because you might think, oh, I need to do this and that. And like sometimes it could be overwhelming.
That's so true.
A lot of people, when they ask me about social media or ask me about my business, is like, oh, you got to do this and that. And like the you know, the thought of like putting all of these pieces together is so big that it's just one step, right? It's just like focus on the one thing that you can accomplish today.
Yeah.
And like funny, because like right before you got here, I was working on my priority list.
Nice.
And like what I do is just literally a list of like, hey, I got to pick 3 things that need to happen today in order to move the needle in my business.
Yeah.
And that might be a simple thing as like, okay, maybe there's a tool that can help me save 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so powerful. And I think, you know, it's a lot about finding the who and not the how. If you are busy in your business and you need some systems, you need some automation, you need some AI, maybe you need a better website, whatever it may be. Yeah. Well, work with me or my team or someone. But I think a big part is find the person, like you said, who's willing to make it less overwhelming, but actually diagnose what's important to say, let's do this first. Then this could be a phase 2 priority. That's phase 3, because there's a lot of folks out there that are just peddling something that is another box. They go, well, here's what I've got for you. It's a box we'll put you in, but it may not actually serve you. And I think that's important to find the right person who's going to hear what you got going on and then point you in the right direction, not just sell you something random.
Yeah. And a lot of businesses, I mean, you have to have a subscription for this, another subscription for that.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, passwords, what?
Too many passwords.
What?
Yeah.
I need to try, like, I need to get into this website, but I forgot my password. So then it goes to an email. Then that email, it's like, what is the password for that specific email that was years ago?
One login is the solution here. HighLevel. Yes. It's that easy. It's that easy to shout their praises because of how they've revolutionized this technology, that we have one place to log into. We can pull up the phone app. We can go on the desktop. It's virtually everything. I mean, we're doing some video editing on different tools, maybe some graphic design on different tools. And then obviously you've got your industry tools like posting to the MLS, but it's one place for marketing and sales for your business. And that is super powerful. So I love that. Okay. A question that I ask all of my guests on this show, because this show is about, you know, it's really about AI and automation, but it's mostly about why are we doing all this stuff to begin with.
Yeah,
it's about our destiny, and Kismet means destiny or fate. So for those of you listening or watching this episode, and for you, Paula, what is the one big thing that you want to do to achieve your destiny?
One big thing.
The one big thing right now that's relevant for you.
So I think this whole year has been about personal development. And right now I'm working with someone that is helping me with neuro-linguistic reprogramming.
How powerful.
And yeah, it's mind blowing. I gotta say, sometimes we are the thing that's in between getting to the next level. And for me was priorities. I serve a big community, and a lot of times I want to say yes to everyone, and helping myself focus in the things I need to do in order to get to what I want to. It's been putting boundaries and organizing the things based on what I want to accomplish. But something that is kind of like in the near future, we're getting married next year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so I figured that my team needs to be at a place where I feel comfortable, having my clients being taken care of the way I want to. And so growing my team is the thing I'm focusing. And so we're looking for amazing people that are ready to serve the community. And we're thinking about like 5 people would be my goal for next year.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Making a
That's
difference in your own life as well as other people and giving them something to be proud of as well. Well, you are such a huge asset to this community. I just see you at every event, organizing your own events, showing up in a big way and in a way that's bigger than just yourself. And then now also prioritizing, your boundaries and what's sacred for you. And so that's amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
For those of you interested in connecting more with Paula or learning more about the system that we built together, which she's taken it, to her own and building it out from there, you can check the show notes and you'll see links and stuff and connect with Paula and connect with me. And thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. Yeah. Thank you again.